What's going on, folks? I've just been down here in the studio doing a little trimming. I got a bunch of bowls over there and I got a couple mugs that I made, but I thought why not just do a quick little video and show you guys my trimming techniques. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Alright guys, so here we got a bowl that I made the other night. Got a little bit of a rolled rim on there, but it's got a lot of bottom heavy weight here. So what I want to do is I want to get into it with a couple tools and trim a foot. So this is how we're going to start that. We're going to set our bowl upside down on the wheel, and we're just going to get it going at a nice steady speed. Now it helps to have some rhythm, so if you got rhythm, you can definitely tap center a pot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, with this hand, every time the pot gets close to it, I'm going to tap it, right? So here's how we do that. And then after just a couple taps, we got our bowl centered here in the middle of the wheel. So I'm going to show you guys that again. I'm going to push that off to the side. So we got the pot is certainly not centered here. There we go. So that's how you do that. It is nice to have some rhythm because you can get a little easier. So the next thing we're going to do here is I have these little basically scrap clays that I just roll into a coil, and I'm just going to use these to hold the pot onto the wheel head. It is important to make sure that the pot itself is pretty well dry. You know, you don't want it to be greenware, but you want it to be pretty far into the leather hard stage, or else you can get some issues. So the tools that I'm going to use here, I have a loop tool and or a turning tool, and then this one is kind of like a foot carving tool is what I use it for. So get you a couple tools like this. These are like $6 at Blick. You can order them online. But we're going to get our wheel speed going. I like to run it pretty fast here. I'll start by trimming down some of the excess, like, I want to say like the clay that was kind of rough on there. And to make our foot, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my loop tool and I'm just going to go ahead and start digging down into the clay here to really accentuate the actual bowl shape of the piece itself here. You can use the loop tool, drag it all the way down the pot, carve off some extra meat there. And that's pretty well good. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put down this tool. We're going to get out the tool that I use for the feet on my bowls. There's a bunch of different tools like this. You can get smaller ones. Excuse me. You can get smaller ones. There's different shapes. There's a lot of different tools, and some of them are pretty cheap. So what I'll do first is I'm going to mark where I want the foot to be. And then I'm going to tap the bottom to see how much meat I have there. This feels pretty thick right now, so I'm just going to go ahead and I'm just going to start carving. Now it's important that when you attach the pot to the wheel with those nubbins of clay, that it really, really firmly attached to the wheel, or else you can have some serious issues. Your pot can fly off the wheel. We don't want that. Sometimes you got to get those little boogers out of the way because they can screw you up. Now some people are really fast at making a foot on a bowl. I like to take my time with it. I find this to be very therapeutic and mindful. So I like taking a little extra time when making bowls. The thing about making bowls that's different about making mugs, you know, you don't have to put a handle on it or anything like that. So there's a lot more time that goes into a mug than a bowl. So it's good to give a bowl a little bit more love during this process to make sure that it looks completed. That's something we're always going for as potters, aren't we? We just want every piece to look more completed than the last one. But we never really get there, so just keep on throwing. Alright folks, now one thing I like to do is carve a little bevel on the foot, so that way you have less tendency to get like chips and things like that. So I'm just going to go through this one more time here, clear off a little bit more of the meat in the middle, dig into the bottom corners here a little bit more. And the last thing I like to do is I like to take a little rubber rib here and just rub it down a little bit, burnish it. Sometimes I use a metal rib, but the rubber one does just fine. The last thing we'll do is we'll take our little maker's mark and we'll get a little imprint and we're good to go. And at this point you'll just roll these bad bears up, tap center the next one, and you're good to go. So here we have it. Get those little boogers off of there here once it dries a little bit more, that shit will come right off. So yeah. Well, that's pretty much it, folks, as far as how to trim a bowl. You know, we'll do some other videos soon on how to trim like mugs or oddly shaped forms. I'll go over my chucks and how we do that, but I just wanted to make a continuation of my basics series here and show you guys how to finish your bowls. So yeah, I just want to thank you so much for sticking around and for all your support I've gotten over the last couple of years. So thank you so much, and I hope you guys have a great day.